Today we're in Galatians chapter 6, and there are a couple verses that somebody's asked about that seemingly contradict, and they'd like to know how these two verses can be reconciled. So Galatians 6 verse 2, it says, "Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ." And then down in verse 5 it says, "For every man shall bear his own burden." So the problem that seemingly exists is one verse, or verse 5 says, you got to bear the burden alone. But then in verse 2, we're called to carry each other's burdens. How can we do both at the same time? If I have to carry it alone, that seems to nullify verse 2. So first off, in order to clear this up, we have to read verse 5 properly. The word alone does not appear in verse 5. It says, "Every man shall bear his own burden," which is a true statement. You have to pull your own weight in the Christian life. But verse 2, you're allowed to have help. And verse 2 directly is saying you should be looking to help other people with their burdens. So the two verses don't contradict. They actually supplement. They work together perfectly. The passage is actually a very well-balanced presentation of what the Christian life is all about. We are all called to carry a cross, right? Jesus said, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me." So all of us have been called to carry a cross of some sort. And an easy way to think about that cross that you're called to carry is it's in the prayer of Gethsemane when Jesus said, "Not my will, but thine be done." There will be times where your will and God's will go directly against each other. And when the two wills cross, that's where you have to take up that cross and follow the Lord. You do it His way instead of your way. Jesus said that men will know that we are His disciples because we love one another as He loved us. So if we live the way Christ did, this is by the law of Christ, we operate the way Christ did, we are going to go about looking for opportunities to help people. Now in verse 3 he says, "For if any man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself." What's he saying? Don't think that you're above help. Everybody needs help. Even Jesus needed help carrying His cross up Mount Calvary. So don't feel shame that you need help. Don't be so proud that you won't ask for help. We are called to carry each other's burdens, to help each other with that. And then in verse 4 he says, "Let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another." So Paul offers the balance to this. Don't think you're above help, but don't think you're above participation. You have to do your part. You have to pull your weight. And I think a great verse that goes with this is 1 Corinthians 15 verse 10. Paul says, "By the grace of God, I am what I am, and the grace that was bestowed upon me was not in vain. I labored more abundantly than they all, yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me." So Paul's point is, it's only by God's grace that I've achieved anything. And the only reason I'm laboring is because of how good God has been to me. But at the same time, Paul is saying, God gave me grace and I did something with it. Galatians 6 and verse 4, when it talks about rejoicing in himself alone, he's not trying to say that you won't rejoice in what God did or you won't acknowledge what other people did for you. Paul's fully aware that God had grace on him and that other people played a big part in his life. But Paul knows that he did his part. So I see Galatians 6 verses 1 down to 5. I think it's a beautifully and wonderfully balanced passage that tells us we have a personal responsibility to carry our cross, and at the same time we should be looking for an opportunity to help somebody else carry theirs.
If this video has helped, you can click the like button. If you'd like to follow along with our Bible Q&A vlog, you can click subscribe. Feel free to leave a Bible question in the comment section below or visit us on our Facebook page, Bible Baptist Church of Potchefstroom. And if you live in town, we'd like to invite you to one of our services, and we hope to see you soon. May God bless and have a great day further.